And so I thought this was really smart that they put down turf here, and it's right next to your kitchen. So if it's a nice day, you guys can very easily enjoy the upstairs balcony. Getting something in the low 400s is impossible. Very impressed with the yard, which I don't know if I've ever said for a courtyard home. Hey, Daniel here, local Easton Park real estate expert. If you're thinking of making a move to the Easton Park neighborhood, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the latest real estate news. You know, I was a band director for 10 years before I jumped into real estate, and I found that a lot of the skills and values that drew me to education have transferred over really well into real estate. Honesty, hard work, effective communication, and truly caring about my clients' goals is still really important to me. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, you can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. Love to help you and your family find a great home and a great deal in this awesome neighborhood. All of that contact info can be found in the description below. All right, let's jump into this great deals video. All right, the first house we're checking out today is the resale deal of the month. Look at my notes here. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,456 square foot home, and it's listed at $290,000. That is actually the lowest price for any listing in Easton Park currently. I do want to give a shout out to Sherry Smith, the listing agent for this one. Sherry is very kind to open this door for me so I can show you guys inside. So let's check it out. Where we are today is, before we go inside, we're in Union Park East, and so these are Brookfield condos, or detached condos, and this is a really good location for the amenity center. And so where I am right now, Colton Bluff Springs is right there, that road, and then it's all private roads inside of this area of Easton Park. If you walk down that pathway and then out that way, the amenity center is right there with the 2 infinity pools, a very large dog park right there, grilling stations, all of that. So really, really good spot for just enjoying the amenities. Beautiful front door. I was actually expecting a smaller floor plan for this price. I need to look on Brookfield's website, but I'm pretty sure they do build this model still, but definitely not for $290,000. I mean, this is a steal of a price, even comparing it to a brand new home with potentially better incentives. Really, everything's negotiable, but I was expecting one of the 1,100, 1,200 square foot homes, and so when I saw it was 1,450 something square feet, I was very happily surprised with this price. So a couple features with this floor plan. Your primary is downstairs, and so that's nice for a couple of reasons. Here's the primary right here. Number one, obviously you don't have to go up and down stairs, right? But then number two, for this specific street we're on Frida Bend. And as I said before, Colton Bluff Springs is right there. That road gets pretty loud. And a lot of the homes on this street, the primary's upstairs. I actually had a rental listing a few doors down from here, and we struggled finding renters purely because of the road noise, because the bedroom was upstairs. As you can see, that road is elevated. And so the road was right next to the window for the bedroom. This one, it works out great because we are, you know, a solid 10, 12 feet lower than the road. So you can still hear it when something really massive goes by, but it's much quieter than the bedrooms upstairs. And this is a very good sized bedroom too. Decent closet. I love natural light coming into the closet. And then dual vanity sink, walk-in shower. Again, natural light coming in. And Brookfield has carpeted bedrooms and then the LVP flooring throughout the rest of the home. No linen closet in here. Everything looks like some pretty good condition. We do have underneath the stairs some storage. And then your utility closet down here. Again, nice that it's on the same floor as the primary, just the shelf above, and not stacked. That's also a nice touch. Here, going into the garage, we have a couple features. So we do have natural light. They actually have their side door from the garage, which is great. The first house I had in Easton Park, you had to walk all the way around the house to get to the side yard, so it's nice they have access from inside the home. Another nice thing, which I don't know why more people don't do this in Union Park East, is the turf. So all of these units out here, these condos, they have just gravel patches in between, and this is your backyard, right? It's really tough for dog owners, and so I've seen that from my side too, helping people find buyers and renters. It's just, they don't like these homes because of the lack of yard. And so I thought this was really smart that they put down turf here. And then you can just hose it off if you have a dog using this space, but that's locked. I was about to show y'all what it looks like, but we'll see upstairs because there's a patio. So I do like the privacy of this yard space and that it's not just gravel. I think that's really smart. And then a little ramp coming up to the front door, which is also good for accessibility. So as we go upstairs, I would see this unit more for a first-time homeowner because the price is great, right? It's getting you in an awesome neighborhood, super close to a really nice amenity center. You get access to all the parks and trails in Easton Park, but your monthly payment isn't that bad. It's actually quite reasonable. And then secondly, I would see this as an investment opportunity. Maybe not for a straight up investor. I mean, maybe if you have enough capital, but what I did for my first investment property is it was my first home. So I bought a house, roughly the price of this house. And then after a few years, I moved out. Me and my wife moved to a different home, but we kept that home as an investment property. I think this is a really good opportunity for someone looking to do that. Pan around so you can see. So obviously very different floor plan where we have the living room and kitchen upstairs. So a fridge would go there. Really good size island in the middle here. We got the white drawers, gas, I cannot think, it's not a fireplace, Daniel. It's a range, there you go, you see all real estate. And then we have the double oven underneath there too, microwave above. Large corner pantry. Tons of windows. And then you do have this upstairs patio, which is quite nice for this specific unit. I do like to put tile down here too, and it's actually decent quality tile. I appreciate that from Brookfield. This is a great spot because none of these homes have the same layout as you. And so you don't have someone else's balcony staring at you. There's no driveways, no one's hanging out here. This is a private road just for residents of Union Park East. So no one's parking here. If they're coming in, they're more likely than not just perhaps pulling into their garage and then closing the door. So pretty private out here. And the busy road is on that side, right? So definitely a lot quieter out here. And it's right next to your kitchen. So if it's a nice day, you guys can very easily enjoy the upstairs balcony with your dinner. TV would go there. And then we have our guest bed and bath. So here's the full guest bathroom. I like that they kept the built-in shelves. That one's leaning a little bit. That's an easy fix though. And then more built-in shelves here they left. And then natural light coming to the bathroom is always a huge plus. So I like the size of this bathroom. And then second bedroom. Again, I like that it's only 2 bedrooms because it gives them a decent amount of space for 1,450 odd square feet. You can see what I'm talking about though, right? With this one, you are at road level, and so it's much more noticeable, at least standing here, the road noise. But cool. Yep, there you have it. That was the resale deal of the month. Definitely, I don't think this one's gonna be on market long, purely because the price and the condition of this home, and then the layout, I think is gonna work really well, specifically for a first-time homeowner. But now we're gonna go check out a very different home, the new build deal of the month, which is gonna be a pace setter home. So I'll see you over there. All right, and this is the new build deal of the month. Again, looking at my notes here, this is listed at $437,900. It is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,191 square foot home by pace setter. The lot is 0.185. I bring that up because the yard is surprisingly big. And this home has come down a ton in price. So it was originally listed at $535,900. And then recently they did a massive drop from $519 down to $437, which good on Pacesetter. I've been a little critical in previous videos on how Pacesetter, for whatever reason, their business model, they don't adjust price online. They just kind of wait for an offer to come in. I appreciate them doing a big reduction on this. Okay, I think it's going to drive a lot of traffic to this listing. Pan around so you can see where we're at. We are in Discovery Park. So actually quite close. You can very off in the distance see some kids running. That's the elementary school. So if you do have kids of that age, this is a great spot in Easton Park. Super easy walking distance from Newton Collins Elementary. Let's check it out. Oh, I will say, so again, those of you who are new to Easton Park, there's a few builders that do courtyard homes, and so Pacesetter is one of them. And what that means is you have this long shared driveway, and then there's 4 homes with the shared driveway. Each of you have your own driveway, so you have plenty of space, but it is a unique style to be aware of. So something that drew my eye to this was the wraparound porch, which you don't see often with new builds in Easton Park. I'm a little annoyed they put this fence here. Yes, you need a fence, but I wish the gate entrance was here on the concrete and not down there on the soil. So I like that we have the wraparound, but the effectiveness isn't ideal. Beautiful front door. Maybe not beautiful, it's brown, but very large front door. Kind of a somewhat basic, but I do like the amount of natural light coming in here. Something I'll say before we continue the tour, getting a 4-bedroom in the 400,000s in Easton Park from a new build is rare. Getting something in the low 400s is impossible. I mean, this is truly the only 4-bed I found that's a new build in this price range. So if you're looking for a 4-bedroom in a great neighborhood, this one definitely has some weird kinks about it, which I'll point out as we walk through the home, but I think they're very easily solved kinks. So let's start the tour. So we have our half bath down here. Kind of interesting. I've never had a bathroom with this much natural light on the first floor, but plenty of space in here. And then right off the bat, we actually have our primary bedroom. And so you do have the 4 recessed lights as well as the fan. Good amount of natural light coming here, good amount of space. We have the LVP flooring, very similar to the previous home. Now one con right off the bat, womp womp, right, we only get the 1 sink. Now I don't know, I'm sure this will take 2 seconds on Google to figure this out, but I'm not sure how you can add a second vanity. I would think there's a pipe there, water's coming through, surely we can divert it so it's a dual vanity. I'm not sure why they chose not to do a dual vanity for the primary, especially because when we go upstairs, there's a dual vanity for the guests. So that's a very strange decision. So I think this is something that can be resolved after closing, but I can definitely see why this would be a turnoff for a lot of people, is just not having 2 sinks. I do like we have the sunken shower with the bench, floor to ceiling tile, natural light coming in. This all looks fantastic. 8-foot doors throughout, very large and deep linen closet in there, which is good because this closet's a little shallow. It's really wide, but it is kind of shallow, so I think you're gonna be utilizing this space, you know, for more than just your linens and your towels. And then very long toilet room also. It always kills me where they put these in every home. It's just, they figure out a way to put it as far away as possible from the actual shower. So it's like, just don't put it in there. No one's gonna use it. But anyway, that's a personal gripe I always have with builders. That's every builder too. It's not just Pacesetter. Pretty good sized closet here. And then we come to our primary living area, and then our kitchen and dining. So, pantry, I actually didn't look in here yet. Pretty small pantry, but again, it works. This kitchen is small, okay? That's definitely a con with this, although I do think there's a way to resolve that. We have a 5-burner gas range, we have subway tile, it's timeless, it's always gonna be in style. I do like that we have all the way to the ceiling with the cabinets, so it's flush with that. That's a good look. And then large single basin sink. It is white. I'm gonna tell you from personal experience, white sinks do stain easily. So get the pink stuff, cleaning agent, that does a lot of work for you, but be aware, stainless steel, way easier to make look clean all the time. And then we have this little guy, which I don't know why you're here. So very, very, very small island, comedically small island, especially because you have so much space we could have put a bigger island here. I think the pendant lights are even wider than the island. So yeah, I think this is definitely hurting them a little bit. Now, that being said, there are definitely ways. If I was buying this house, which if I was in the market looking for a 4-bedroom in Easton Park, this would be a clear winner to me, because you have so much space on these walls. And so yes, this kitchen is definitely limiting in the amount of space you have, but you could very easily hire a contractor to come out and extend, right? Maybe not all the way there because the window kind of gets in the way, but you have this wall here too. And I like that it juts out from that door, so it's not like you're gonna be blocking anything. So that's what I would do. I would just extend, have maybe a bar area here, just so it feels like we're not so limited with the space we have here. It's gourmet, right? We have the built-in oven, built-in microwave, the built-in range, so more storage underneath the range. So all of those things are great things about this, but yes, the countertop space, definitely you're gonna feel it if you're not adding stuff elsewhere. Utility room, we do have cabinets above, which is great. And then let's check out this garage and backyard. Garage is a pretty good size. It's about 1 foot and some change either side of the door. We do have an EV charger already installed if that applies to you. And then some extra storage over here for the water softener loop, and then the tankless water heater, which is inside, which is great. When we freeze every couple of years, you don't need to worry about messing with that because it'll stay insulated inside of the garage. You can see, that's what I was talking about at the beginning, right? The beginning of the shared driveway. And so we actually have a gate here. This is a massive yard, especially for a courtyard home. Typically, that's my biggest gripe. My first house I bought in Easton Park was a courtyard home. It was a Brookfield courtyard, so it was smaller in general, but the yard space was, calling it a yard was being generous. It was a little lane next to my house. This is huge, and it curves around, and you have plenty of space between you and your neighbor connecting to the patio there that we saw earlier. So this yard is a huge plus. Also, something for this specific home that's really nice, you are really close to your neighbor, and that's, again, it's something else I've not really ever liked about courtyard style homes is the privacy, right? Your patio is usually facing directly into your neighbor's patio. This specific home, the next door neighbor decided to put a fence up, which is awesome because you don't have to take care of it. It's on that side, right? So I'd be worried one of my dogs kind of chewing on the fence. It's on the other side of the wrought iron railing, but you already just have privacy built in because the neighbor happened to put that up when they moved in. So that's a nice upgrade that you nor Paysetter did. It just kind of happenstance with this specific home and that neighbor. Very impressed with the yard, which I don't know if I've ever said for a courtyard home. All right, let's check out upstairs. And that's, right, entrance to the side patio there. Last thing I'll say with comparing new build to resale, obviously interest rates are an important factor to a lot of buyers. Interest rates have been coming down as of recording. We actually hit a 3-year low a couple of days ago. We're the 30-year conventional. Anytime I talk going upstairs, I always have to catch my breath. I apologize. The 30-year conventional market rate hit 5.99%. It hasn't hit that since February of 2023. And it hasn't gone below that since I think October of 22. So we are definitely at a 3-year low for interest rates, which is great for everybody, right? It's great for homeowners, it's great for buyers. Everybody wants a lower interest rate. Something to be aware of, if interest rates keep going down, builders are going to stop giving the incentives for lowering your interest rate. Or at least they're not gonna offer as much because they won't need to, right? And the only reason builders offer to buy down your rate, you'll see builders say we're giving a 4.99% interest rate. It's because they just need more buyers to enter the market, right? And that's the limiting factor. If interest rates continue this trend and we go to like the mid 5s, then I predict that builders are going to stop offering as much. And so that really evens out the market for resale versus new build. That being said, you can get a 4.99% interest rate on a resale. I've done that with clients, right? It's really just negotiating with the seller what they're willing to buy down to get your rate lower. So something to be aware of, the incentives for both resale and new build, as rates come down, it's gonna be more of an even, what you're gonna be able to get from both sides is pretty close, okay? All right, so we are upstairs, large kind of central landing area, and then we have the 3 bedrooms. Really interesting upstairs deck on this home too. I didn't plan that, but both homes we're seeing today have this upstairs deck, and this one, pretty private. All right, so we have this little wall here. That house has nothing here. And then these homes, it's just looking at the front driveway, but it is more spaced out because we are in single family homes here, not the detached condos. But a good amount of space. Plenty of space for a few chairs and a table. And then guest bedroom number 1. Builders, for whatever reason, they don't add fans. Again, that's a $150 purchase at Home Depot. That's not too big of a deal. I do like that we have 2 windows in here. It's a pretty good sized bedroom, and then a really deep closet for our guest bedroom. Here we have our guest bathroom with the 2 sinks. I laughed when I saw that earlier when I turned on the lights. Again, natural light coming in floor to ceiling with the tile. Really good upgrades in this home. We have our linen closet here. And then next bedroom, I like that we have this bench seating area up here, pretty tall, but if you have cats, great. Or maybe if you have a young child and you're kind of wanting to sit on a bench area, you have that option here. Again, they're doing a great job with utilizing all the space in the closet. It's not just a typical, and this is just a mirror copy, right? This one is looking out to the next door neighbor's roof, so not as great a view. Something I didn't bring up when we were in that previous room. You're actually getting a decent view because your next door neighbor, their roof line's lower, the 1 story, and so you're actually able to see off outside of Easton Park. You're not just secluded looking into the roof next door. So cool. There you have it. Those are, in my opinion, the best resale and new construction deals currently available in Easton Park. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I film these videos the last week of each month for the next month. So by the time this comes out, I usually release these videos the 2nd week of each month. These may be off market, who knows, right? Probably not, just how slow the market is, but we're going into the spring, and so there are gonna be more buyers coming into the market then. So if that is you, and you are thinking of buying a house, whether in Easton Park or the greater Austin area, I do encourage you to reach out to me before you speak with a sales rep. I know that's really enticing to just go straight to the model home and start asking all the questions. But if you speak with them before speaking with a realtor, they don't really allow that as far as, letting me represent you through the entire process. So whether it's me or someone else, right? If you have a realtor you know, like, and trust, definitely utilize them. But if you don't know a realtor, this is why I do these videos, to reach to people that I normally wouldn't have met, or just to educate people so that when I bought my first house, I knew nothing. I wasn't a realtor yet, I was still just a band director. And so I just went to the sales rep and just started asking questions. I should have done my research and gotten a realtor on my behalf before that, because the sales rep's job is purely to sell you on their product, right? A realtor's job, a good realtor's job anyway, is to advise you, to be your fiduciary, to make sure you are getting the best possible advice with financial, with choosing the right floor plan. There's so much when it comes to real estate. It's not just a financial decision, but it's also a lifestyle decision. And so you want to make sure you're utilizing someone that's going to have your best interest in mind. So if that does sound good to you, you can always give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. I'd love to help you get to know you and your family, get to know your lifestyle, what you're looking for in your next home, and help you see all the options that are out there and lay them out on the table for you. Also, if you are a current homeowner in Easton Park, I hope you consider me for one of your listing interviews. I always encourage people, if they're thinking of selling their home, to interview 2 to 3 realtors, because we all have very different styles, and it's important that you're getting someone that you trust, that you know is going to work well for you and what you're looking for, not just the realtor who promises you the highest sales number, because they don't control that, right? We don't control how much the home sells for, the market does. So definitely, if that sounds good to you, reach out to me. I'd love to be part of that conversation. Okay, I feel like I've been talking for days in this video, so I hope this was informative, and until next time, I hope to see you guys around Easton Park.